Support me on Patreon. My links are in the description. Today what I want to do is a project that I did with some young kids. It's actually a really accomplishing project for a portrait. I call it my Picasso portrait, self-portrait, because I use his technique of Cubism in teaching portraiture to kids, or I would do that. And because you can use Cubism as it's an easier way to learn about the facial features, and then also you can put them anywhere. So it's just kind of like Cubism is about seeing in the round, but on a two-dimensional plane. So and from what I understand, Picasso is the one who started it. And I'm sure other people will say, I don't know about anything other than that's what I know. But it doesn't even matter. It's a really fun project to do. And I do it with adults also because it's so easy, and and you can accomplish this and you get a wonderful, colorful portrait. It can be a self-portrait. It could be a thoughtful portrait of somebody else you're thinking about. You can use different people's eyes and features, eyes and noses and mouths, and in any way you want. So I just was practicing a little bit on some eyes and just how the eye looks. So just a real quick, looking for my pencil. Real quick go through. The eyes have, let me take a look to make sure it's up there. Okay. Also, I have this line here because I noticed that last time I went too far, so I want everyone to see what I'm doing. So eyes are basic. You can just draw them like this. This is how I learned in school, so I want to just make it easy. So it's two lines like that, and then you just add here, come here, and then there's this little section right there, and I don't know the name of it, but that's okay. So it's this little section here, and then it comes up, and then it comes around, and then you can bring it down here if you want, the eye to there. And then also we have this little lid that is like at the bottom of your just below, just between, it's just like a little shelf. And then also there's your own another shelf that's right here. That's the thickness of your eyelid. And then you have the eyeball, which is right here. And then you also have a pupil, and then you have your fold right there, like that. And then remember, this part here, your eyeball kind of sticks out, and it really is just like a circle like that inside here. So you could even do up here like that. Just acknowledge it, I guess, a little bit. So then you have this here, and usually you have some form of a reflective section here in your eye, and in your eyes actually you can see what you're looking at. You can see in your eye also. So you just color it in whatever way, and there's usually can be lighter, this could be darker, it doesn't matter. And then, but anyway, the basic shape of an eye, and this is from the side view, this is the basic shape of your eye here. And then you have a little bit of a fold here, and then the rest of the face. And so I'm just doing just the basic features. Then today, I happened to see this wonderful nose today. It was just amazingly wonderful. And it was this very long, beautiful nose. And I just wanted to take a picture of it, but I didn't. And then it was on a person, and I don't know, I couldn't do it. But anyway, then there's just the basic nose. It comes like this. There's usually a little bit of roundness here, then your nose pops up here, then it comes down like this, and your nostrils right in here, and you've got your little side section there. And then if you want to do just a straight nose in front, your nose, and I just do it like this. Here's your nostrils, and here's your those angled curves. I should probably know all this stuff, but I don't. Then to the other side. Then you can also, okay, so then I did some lips. I'll skip just back to you also in a second. Lips are, you've got this little indentation. Some people have wider, some people have less, some people have a longer indentation, and then you come around here. Usually there's like a little bit of a space there for the skin, and then it goes like that, and it goes like that, and this one goes, this is usually kind of like a space like this, then you just do that. Or it could literally be just it could be just as simple as that. It's really up to you however you want to do it. It's free, so you get to have a free moment in time. Also want to mention this piece of paper. This paper is not watercolor paper. It's cardboard, kind of like a hard stock for cards if you want to print it, so it's printer paper. But when I was teaching some kids in class and we couldn't afford watercolor paper, which is right here, for, I don't know, maybe 60 kids or something, they had a budget. So I would just get this paper here, and it's really great to use. I really recommend it if you're going to teach kids a class and maybe you can't afford it. I say this is really great paper to use. And so I'll leave that here. And then this actually is Canson watercolor paper, and it's a little larger, so I cut it up a little bit so I could have this 8.5 by 11. But I have my inexpensive watercolor brushes. And this is, it's a Holbein, I think it's called. Not very expensive, series E. I've had them for so long. And then also Winsor Newton paint brushes. I have a combination of different paints here, watercolor paints, and you can also use poster paint. And then I have a oil pastel. Now, oil pastels come in different grades. This one happens to be an expensive grade. I love this again is Sennelier, and I use it. I'm probably saying that word incorrectly, but I love it. So it's because they have so much pigment versus wax in this pastel. There are less expensive pastels. The one that I would recommend for kids projects is New Pastel. I think it's New Pastel. They have a better grade oil pastel, and it's less like a crayon. Crayons are great too, and if that's all you have, that's it, use it. But if you can, it's good to get a couple of these New Pastel sets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, this is what I did. I take this and I'm just going to do an oval shape here like that, and so I'm trying to kind of dark here. And I'll show you on this. So for watercolor paper, you can see how the watercolor tooth, I don't know if you can see it here, there is like not letting my oil pastel go through. So I'll show you this one here, which of course this is a smooth texture, so then it goes like that. It's much smoother. But I'm still going to continue to use this one here. And now normally I would use black just to start out, but really it doesn't even matter. You get to do whatever you want to do. And then, okay, so now I would tell the kids, you have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and on your face. And so you can put them in any direction that you like. You can actually put the face in any direction also that you like. So it's a 3-dimensional, thinking in 3 dimensions, but you can have the nose facing this way, and it can be any length. It's up to you. It's total freedom. So I'm gonna say, okay, I'll put the nose starting up here, and I'll put a little bit of there for the ball of the nose goes there. I'll go like that, and then here's this is that, and then the eye I could have going this way. Here's my eye. I'll start like that, and then I'll do this here because the eyeball's there, and then that there. And here's this, and then some eyebrows there. Here's eyeball. I can have one eye like this here, and then so my requirement was really simple. Just make sure you get all of the features, and other than that, it didn't bother me. Then you can even put the lips like that, and then here's side lips here, and then like that. So there you go. That looks really fun to me. Now if I were using this paper here, I could even continue with this pastel and see how it's very smooth, and because it's a better paper, it's this paper here, you see it's not very smooth at all, but I don't mind. So then I have that, and then I can add some hair. So for me, when I make pretend or fun hair, I always do this, my hair shape, and then think about what hair shape you would like. This was my mom's hair shape when I was a little girl, And I just really stick to it when I'm doing stuff like that. Oh, look at my thing started to go. So I ran out of space, but it doesn't even matter. See, that's what I want you to understand or enjoy. It doesn't matter because it's your piece of work. So there. Now, to me, I love it. I'm going to say, so then I know that the neck comes like this. So I just add a neck and maybe some shoulders. Shoulders here. Okay. Now, so this is fun. And there, I now know kind of like what an eye looks like. So then for my next portrait, I may do it a little bit closer to what a face really looks like, or maybe this is really what I love and I think I might stick to it. So it's up to you and how you want to do that. So I'm going to take my brush. Now I'm going to pick some color for this whole thing. So for me, I think that I'm going to give her blue hair. And so I'm going to get really close. Now for me, it's probably dangerous it might be dangerous to have your hair like this, but I don't mind. So the reason I use the pastel, if in case you don't notice by now, because it really does keep me, keeps everything separate. So you can, it keeps a pigment separate, so you can move it so that you see that. So what I do is I put water in there, and I really want a lot of pigment on my brush, and not just watery, not make my paint so watery. I'd like it to be a nice bright color. So if you see there, I have kind of like a little bit of an outline that I don't even have to worry about mixing it into the other side, unless I wanted to. And there, so see, so there it goes. Here's one side, and the other side could be a whole different color. This is really about having fun. So I'm going to do that. I make the other side yellow. Wow, I love it. So then I get my yellow. Notice my yellow has some orange in it. To me, I really don't care, but you might care, and so you want to wash out your yellow just like that. Wash it out a little bit, and then clean your brush. Always remember to clean your brush. And if you notice, this yellow is really got a lot of green or blue in it. I don't know what I was doing. So I'm going to clean it up because this is a really warm yellow, and I think I want to use a warmer yellow. And so I'm cleaning out my brush, I mean my watercolor pad, my brush, and then I wipe that down. So now it's nice and clean. Then I go to my brush, get a little bit of water in here, and then I just add a lot of pigment and try and get it nice and dark or filled up with it. And then for me, I would move this upside down, only because then it's easier to paint on. So now here I go, take it like that. You notice I got a lot of color on my paint. And for me, this is fun. My whole thing is about enjoying myself and not worrying about the detail of, there we go. There, see how nice and bright that yellow is? And if you I go to the Norton Simon a lot. They've got some wonderful Picassos there, and you can see the colors he used, and what an amazing artist he was. He was just an amazing artist, and it's so funny because people think that this is the way that he drew. Some people think he was very abstract and just was a Cubist artist, but really he was a very trained artist with portraiture and people. So, okay, so there you go. So now I can make one of my eyes. I'm going to go in for my eyes now. I'm going to make it kind of like a red purpley color and go in here like that, here. And then if you remember, I do have a pupil that I have to fill in there if I want it to be correct. So there's that. And then I can make, what I think I'm going to do actually is I'll keep with the small pieces. I'm just going to use some red red lips. And they could actually be, they could have been yellow if I wanted them to. So here's my red lips. There we go. And then I'm going to make, I guess I could make this one too here. Or maybe I'll add some blue to it and it'll be like a blue eye or kind of like a teal eye. Oh, that's really pretty. Make this one too. Almost black. Oh, I love it. Very pretty. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do is to make, I'm going to mix some color here. I think I'd like to have it to be a light blue skin. So mixing my blue with my white and just really kind of trying to pick up as much white as I can. And when you mix two colors, lots of times if you add the complementary color, it gives it a little bit more depth. So, but I'm gonna stick to this right now. And so I'm gonna just come in here and make her skin light blue. And not the inside of her eye, all over. And watercolors, the technique, there's so many things you can do with watercolor. This is really just basic watercolor. There's lots of fun things you can do that we will do, but this is, I was thinking about how you can have, this is a good project for a teacher who needs a project for your students to learn about portraiture, because it's so forgiving and it's really easy. Because then I turn this around here, and then I'm going to add just a little bit more color, more white, more come in here, and a little bit more again. Now for me, I'm one of those artists who really am not picky in the sense that I want to have the same color for everything. Sometimes if I'm doing a portrait that actually is a portrait and I'm doing a commission, then of course it has to look exactly like the person. But when I start having my own freedom, when I'm doing something like this, which is just really playtime and contemplating time, relaxing time, then I just let myself have fun. It's like letting that little kid in you out and not putting any rules or restrictions, right? It's hard. You can't have restrictions and be an artist. Or I don't know, maybe you can, but I can't. I can't have restrictions. So here I go. And I could actually come back in here and give her some little rosy cheeks. Take this down here. Here I go. Now this probably was not the best brush for this experience because it could have been flatter, but a flat brush, but I don't know. I'm okay with this. So here I am, got her there. I like it. It's fun for me. And then I'm gonna clean up my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with, what color should the inside of her eyes be? They could stay white, but I think I could make them, let me look around for more color. Green, I could put a little bit of green inside. And again, they don't have to be all green. They could be something else completely. They could be, and then what I'm gonna do, they could be a different color. I'm gonna make their shadow. It's just below the eyelid, there's a little shadow that from your eye, the top of your eye that hangs over like that, right? And then, let's see, I can make her lips a little bit more rosy because it dried a little bit. And some people use a, what is it called? Hair dryer, so that they can keep working on it. Some people use dryers. There's mediums that help the paint to dry. And I'm just gonna do this, and I'm not using any of that. So I could add, so then I could add like some color to her cheekbones. I could if I wanted to. I'm just gonna brush this, see what it looks like. And just do a little bit of red for her cheekbone, like that. And here, it really does, it's just really up to you how you want to do this. There we go. Then now the background. I can do any background I want, whatever I want to do. So because I've got yellow and blue, I want to do something a little bit, and do not use those colors at least. So I think I will choose the green. So I'm going to choose a green, but I'm going to make it a combination of color green. So clean my brush. So what I'm really doing is, the reason that I'm doing this project, because it really is like a fun kid project, is because I want to impress upon everyone that art is about getting back to that little kid in you, and the artist, and who doesn't care what other people think or say, and just does art. If you look at kids' art, they are great. They just let it go, and not until they get a little bit older do they get a little bit more self-conscious. So that's the process of their sticking to that. So here I go, and let me add some more here. And I hope my voice is not so echoey, but I just wanted to do this project. I've been trying to do it, and I have not as much time as I'm being just, doing my artwork, because I have, oh, there's my, it's a siren. But I did want to do it. So this is like oh, look what I did. Got a darker color, which is just beautiful. And now the other thing is, sometimes not having just one color can actually make it more interesting, because you're adding more texture, more to look at, and that could be really fun just by itself. So here I go like that, there, and I'll come in here back to a little bit of a more yellow. So now here, see, is this the simplest, easiest thing that you can, I'm not simplest, easiest, but if you just let yourself have some fun, and you could even become more, it can get more detailed than this one, because I am not, I'm just going to do this here. So you see, I think I want to have a little bit of orange, this color orange, and for the skin. And okay, I'm back. Boy, that was my dog and a delivery. How about that one? All right, so where was I? I think I was just talking about having, I don't even know, is that crazy, my dog? I don't want to stop though, because I want to finish this project. So back with orange. So we're going to do this orange. I guess what I'm emphasizing right now is that enjoy yourself, have some fun, pick a project. Don't make it a serious experience. Sometimes it doesn't have to be serious. It could just be color and line, and you can just experiment and give yourself a break. If you did like 10 of these, just one every day, or just did them, a couple of them, it's just would be, and framed them or kept them on the wall and looked at them, and maybe if you want to change them, maybe you want to start doing portraits. I mean, I don't know. I love portraits. I love people's faces. I'll show, and I probably will show one of my portraits. I do lots of portraits. So what I'm saying is, it's this simple. I don't know what happened there. So if you notice that it's I guess I must have dropped water there, and frankly I don't even care. I'm just going to add some. So I'm going to go back to my, and so okay, let's make it now. Okay, we can make it a little bit more like a richer color, more color in there. You can do that by move this over here, taking it and then just going over it like that. And I think I still would rather have more of a yellow, so that's okay, but so maybe this side is not, maybe this side is not that. And then, so okay, so maybe I'm not crazy about this color, so what I would do is I would take my rag and just take it off. And I need to make my rag a little bit smaller. So just take it off a little bit, scratch it in there, and then I come back. I'm gonna use a different brush. This brush is a little bit thicker. It is a watercolor brush. And you don't have to have the most expensive materials. It is good to get, oh no, not, I can't even tell you it's good to get more, you know, softer, because I don't know how you like your materials to feel. I like thicker, oh, see, this covers more, like that. I like thicker handles, is what I do. That's my thing. Here's more color there. I can take this here, and then we'll come in here. I did also, I put some, actually water fell on that. And make more color. I do have more yellows, by the way. Now these are just the pats, watercolor pats. I call them that, I think that's what they're called. But you can also get watercolor tubes, which I have also. So really, I am just having a good time, as you can see. And it's about having a good time. Let me get a little bit more yellow. I mean green. And there you go. So you learn a little, so the kids, or you, learn a little bit about the face, and then you also learn that you can, and then I'm gonna make her cheeks more rosy. You can also have fun and not make anything too serious. So what I was gonna do, before I do that, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna do just a circle for happy cheeks there. We'll call them happy cheeks. And on this side, happy cheeks here. This to me is really fun. I just really enjoy this. There you go. Thanks for watching. Please check out my social media pages in the description below.